some people use social media to actually push an agenda.
Yes.
You get, and social media now, like the apps itself, now help in fueling it. I think it's called polarization.
Yes.
You see something now that okay, you maybe you heard about an election going on. You now search for a particular candidate. Automatically, your feed will be filled with that candidate.
I searched about something about cancer. Next thing, I was on Instagram. I was seeing cancer. That was my first experience with the algorithm stuff.
Yeah.
COVID-19 pandemic, there was a lot of information going on. Drink this, drink that, and people were actually drinking it. Sending broadcasts.
Drink your bath with water and
salt.
It
has, yes.
I think that was during the Ebola period.
Yes.
It has adverse effects on their health because all these things you're taking into your body, you think that when you're done, it will just come out. No, it will affect things in your body.
Welcome to the Timeline Show.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of our Timeline podcast. Our topic for today is one that resonates with everybody. We use social media all the time to connect to our families, connect with our loved ones, but then we forget that every good thing has a bad side, which is the highlight of our conversation today, the downsides of social media. I'm Jennifer Egensi and I'm joined with Precious and Jennifer to drive.
Jennifer Square, as usual. Hi guys.
Hello.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
You guys are actually glowing. It's like this country is not showing on everybody.
The country is good in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Let's get on the topic.
So social media, social media is, like I mentioned in my introduction, it's something that we use all the time. When we wake up, we just check our phone trying to get updates. But to get a clearer perspective on what social media is, it refers to the means of interaction among people in which they create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. So basically, sharing information, anything that involves sharing information, creating content, on apps like social media, like these are the social media platforms.
Yeah, social media is like a village, like a house on its own, and it feels like all of us are like trapped inside because there's nobody in this generation that you say doesn't have social media. In fact, if you don't have social media, I'll look at you like, what's happening? Who are you? Where are you coming from?
And I think it's mostly like the Gen Z people that use it. Psychology.
It will actually shock you to find out that even people that we claim they are old are actually getting into the frenzy. Actually,
is your mother not on Instagram? Exactly, like TikTok, all these social media apps. A lot of elderly people are there too.
Exactly.
And it goes back. When I mentioned Gen Z now, see that when you ask them what social media app they say Facebook now,
Instagram,
people. But then it goes back to even like CTSS system, the bulletin board system, down to even apps like Friendster. People were using it to chat before Facebook even came. Not just like when Mark Zuckerberg and his friends had to create Facebook app that social media started.
Yes.
It has been running for a long time, and we have different apps. We have Facebook, we have WhatsApp,
Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, a lot.
People use it to connect. Now I've understood like now the way social media runs. Now we're looking at the positive side of it because I mentioned every good thing there's a bad thing, and we cannot deny the fact that social media has created a lot of good things. Look at in terms of personal.
Wait, I'm sorry. Before you get into that, I have to ask both of you a personal question. How has social media helped you? Like, just helped you in your personal life? Like, you just woke up and then you're like, social media has actually really, helped me.
Let me think about it. How about you?
Okay, I think for me, it shortens the distance.
Real.
Take for example, I have uncles, aunties that live abroad. I don't have to write a letter to them, send to them.
Yes.
That's very frustrating. And then it takes a lot of time for the letter to be delivered and all those things. But now I just have to sit in the comfort of my room
and just
think about I just send a text message or send via WhatsApp, Instagram, and the rest of them. I think for me that's very, very good.
I mean,
Jennifer, before you answer, let me just say that before you say what I want to say, let me just say that a lot of organizations now, because I know I've gotten like a lot of jobs on social media. I mean, you're just scrolling. You probably are not in search of a job at that moment, but then you just see
an advert,
and then you're like, oh, I actually feel like I fit into this job role. Like a lot of people have gotten jobs. There, exactly.
Big into business, it has also helped in promoting my business because you just need one retweet, one repost for your business to reach, like, get a worldwide coverage. And how about people that it has helped in getting justice for? A lot of legal actions have been carried out on social media with the help of people retweeting.
Finding petitions,
not getting to the right authorities.
Yeah.
Once they put enough fire like that, next everybody's already retweeting creating a lot of content on that matter.
And you know that like when people tweet about or when people retweet about a particular topic, especially when it gets to the legal part, it puts like some sense of urgency. Like for instance, the NSAS period when like it felt like nothing was being done about it, but then it brought about a lot of people, even people that had absolutely nothing to do about the case on ground. Like it brought a lot of people, and then people were like aware about it
within the country and
outside the country.
And people have actually people have found love on social media. Because a lot of people don't have they don't have the luxury of going out all the time. And by just connecting, like they find out that they have the same type of values. And they connect, they meet up with people, they help, even reconnecting with their loved ones. I've seen someone that found his sister, or I think his twin sister, on social media.
A lot of things like that happen. I remember I saw a tweet on X. No, it's no longer Twitter anymore. And then the guy just he posted a very, very old picture. I think the picture dates back to like 1996. And then he was like, he met this person at the birthday party. They connected, and then he cannot just remember where the person is because he lost the person's number. And then people were retweeting, and then the person just showed up, and I'm like. Wow. Can you imagine?
We can't even fully underemphasize the fact that social media is really important.
Also, before you even get to the next point, which is the downsides, right? Social media has also helped to help people find themselves. There are a lot of people that did not know that they had hidden talents, but maybe for instance tech. For instance, a lot of people they did not know that they could probably convert complex data. Data analysts, and then they're like, this thing is something I feel like I can do.
And then meet with people too that have that
a community,
and that will help you motivate them.
Exactly.
Which brings us to the point of online courses. I don't have to travel to Harvard, so actually study. I can sit in the comfort of my room.
As long as you have data. Somebody will always say, as long as you have data, you are fine.
You can do anything.
Have fun on social media, because let's not even forget the memes that are always posted on social media. So even if you're sad or whatever, it just brings you some sort of peace.
But then you know that in our world today, they cannot just allow something to be permanently good.
Real.
Social media itself is not even bad. This is the usage that makes it bad.
How people use it.
Now the downside of it. You look at cyberbullying, for example. That's
even the first one.
Core downside of social media. People that are meant to be on the net, you build platform, you build a kind of a community to help you. There are people that are out there building communities to bring down other people. Personally, as an individual, as a government, as a group, their focus is to just make sure that I am miserable, so you too will be miserable.
Exactly.
Do you understand? And they also do this by actually maybe posting pictures of people, getting images and linking them to another, trying to say who is this, who is this.
Yes, that thing can just trample on the person's self-esteem, because there are some people that don't even have high self-esteem normally. But imagine now posting the best picture of yourself, and then somebody is zooming in and saying, what is this about your leg, or what is this that you do not even have enough confidence in the first place. You're already thinking about your life. It automatically affects your mental health, affects how you think, affects everything around you, because at that point you're just down and all of that.
The thing about cyberbullying is that most of these people that actually bully people online, if they meet you face to face, they can't say.
It's because of the anonymity that social media provides.
And so there's this term in psychology, de-individuation, where people hide in a crowd that perpetrates evil. So something they will not really do on a norm. They hide in a community or behind a mask of group of people. You can't really pinpoint them. I can be here in Nigeria and saying something to someone in London, and then the person can come here and arrest me. So I hide under that the crowd, and then I do what I want to do, because I will not take responsibility for the action. So it's a very serious matter, the cyberbullying thing. I've seen a lot of people get to the point where they commit suicide because of
what they were told on the net.
I remember a friend then that posted a picture on Facebook. People didn't like her pictures. And then when eventually one guy commented on the picture, the guy was like, this your kill leg. That was what caused her depression for a long period of time. She came to a place where she began to lose herself. No self-esteem, very low self-esteem. Eventually, I think we're in SS3 then. She stopped coming to class for a very long time.
Just imagine. And the person probably he just said it and
Carelessly, right.
Let me just say my thing.
Because like a lot of people just go on social media to escape their reality. So let me say, for instance, somebody that is like an abusive woman, then you want to maybe escape that by being on social media to have fun. Imagine somebody now saying something that you feel like your parents would have said to you. How are you escaping reality
that someone said you don't know you have a problem until you're on social media?
Exactly.
Because somebody, imagine coming online and you're seeing someone saying, can you marry someone with acne? And it's like, first of all, the person that has acne does not even know it's a problem. That is now
until that person,
like they are wondering if they can marry you with. It's like it's not even a problem.
You just have to feel less of
now
yourself.
A criteria for being compatible with somebody. Imagine acne. That's not even something to even discuss.
Everybody has had acne in one area of their life or the other. You know,
even if you've not had it, it's not even enough reason for you to come and tell somebody like, oh, you have acne. Because how is that a flaw? What if the person thinks you having flawless skin is a flaw? Well, keep your opinion to yourself. That's just the summary. Yeah. And then the thing you mentioned about like him coming to talk about her legs. It now reminds me of the fact that there's this Snapchat dysmorphia going around because the filters are available.
Yeah.
Now they feel like that is the standard, that you should have the contour cheeks and everything, and they believe that okay, since her leg is not the way he thinks he should be, understand? And now that is now what he feels, that what he thinks is what should be the standard.
Exactly.
So people now on social media, they see particular things that don't align with what they've been shown as being the perfect body structure and the perfect facial structure, and then believe anybody that has something contrary to that automatically is flawed.
I remember I was reading an article where I think one of these celebrities, I think an online influencer, and then the person was just tweeting and saying something like, oh, I want to get, I think it was BBL or get one of those facial surgeries, and then they're like, why? Like somebody just asked why, and then they're like, I saw somebody, the person looked like this, but I feel like I can be better if I look like this. And I'm like, maybe the person did not even exactly like paint the picture in their heads, but then under the comments, because it is in the comment section that a lot of cruel and vile things happen. Wow. So,
and some people use social media to actually push an agenda.
Yes.
You get, and social media now, like the apps itself, now help in fueling it. I think it's called polarization.
Yes.
You see something now that okay, you maybe you heard about an election going on. You now search for a particular candidate. Automatically, your feed will be filled with that candidate. And people wonder like, what was happening? Like, I searched for this thing and I'm seeing it consistently. It's just like the AI behind the scenes tailoring all your search to link with
search engine
you recently searched for, and then you now begin to look at only that person and feel like, this is what this person is saying is the truth.
Even ideas. Maybe you just have a particular idea in your head, and then you probably like, a tweet or a message or a post of somebody else that goes with that same idea. It will just start coming, and then in your head, you feel like you are right, because in as much as there are 1,000 people that are right, there are also 1,000 people that are wrong. So like you yourself, you're thinking that you are also right because there are 1,001 people that also go with your ideology.
When you search for this particular person, the same another person searching for the other person.
Exactly.
And they are showing that person also what they are looking for. The next thing, people now have one narrow way of thinking because this is what you have seen, this is what they've helped you in believing that yes, what you are seeing there is what is right.
Yes.
Also,
it's the algorithm that brings up the
algorithm. Yeah.
So I can remember a time that I was I searched on Google. I searched about something about cancer. Next thing, I was on Instagram. I was seeing cancer. That was my first experience with the algorithm stuff.
Yeah.
I was seeing cancer on Facebook. I was seeing it on Instagram. I was wondering why. Like, I could not.
Just once that you looked for it and now you're seeing it.
Exactly.
Fitting. It was later hard to understand that these guys are actually watching at what you
do.
You are checking on your phone, and then they constantly bring. Imagine searching something about suicide. And then
the next thing you're just seeing suicide
is about to say that you just start seeing people that kill themselves or people that suicide contagion. Suicide contagion is actually like very real, because I was reading a story, right, about a challenge that happened in 2017, 2018, thereabouts. I saw it on the BBC website. And then they said that the blue whale, it's called the blue whale challenge. This particular challenge is a 50-day challenge that requires people that are not even exactly depressed, but like people to take challenges, like for instance, the first day you can be asked to watch a horror movie by 4 a.m. or you can be asked to use a razor blade to write your date of birth on your hand or something. But then what matters in that particular blue whale challenge is that at the end of the 50-day challenge, like on the 50th day, you have to kill yourself. So imagine seeing, let me say, for instance, you're just searching depression, and then you're seeing a lot of people that are killing themselves, and one very funny thing about that particular challenge was the number of viewers that it accrued. Like a lot of people were watching it. So imagine those kind of people being also motivated, because suicide contagion is realer than we think that it is. A lot of people are just seeing, this person killed them. So maybe you're probably just depressed on your own, and then, or maybe you're probably just stressed. It might not even exactly be depression. You're probably just stressed, and then you're saying that, well, I think I just want to end it all. You're seeing somebody else that ended it, and then maybe compensation for the person's family. You're like, my family is poor, so
what do you think keeps people, that we keep someone doing the challenge from the first day to the 5th day to the 50th day?
I was about to ask that because
I want to understand, because I think I'll probably look at that challenge and just be like, people are actually doing so many things on the internet.
Yeah.
But is there something that makes people look at that and actually want to participate?
Like, is there a link between like the social media and how it affects their brain?
One, imagine you don't actually like yourself before, and then you started the challenge, and then you have 1,000 viewers.
Real.
So you're looking for approval from people. You're looking for validation from the crowd.
Yeah.
So imagine you started the first day, you had 500 people, then by the second day, 1,000. It will push you to do whatever is necessary to keep increasing the viewers.
Yeah.
And this is what actually happens with social media. When you see people take some certain steps, like before, nudity online was not as serious as it is now, but
No.
it's becoming more serious because the more you become nude, the more viewers you have.
We'll be going on a break now. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion on the downside of social media.
The first season of Timeline is on. The journey so far has been amazing and impactful. The world needs change agents. The world needs me, you, and all of us. Join me on Timeline as we continue to share important information and discuss social issues that would help someone out there. Let's continue to advocate for critical changes on issues affecting our world today. And together, amplify messages that prefer answers to burning questions. Our journey continues as we create awareness and promote shifts in health matters and other social issues that will alleviate personal and communal struggles, guided by international laws and best practices. Join me on Timeline exactly 7 p.m. every Friday on Youth Network's YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and turn on the notification button. You can become an agent of positive change by dropping your comments in any of our episodes as a contributor or as a professional. Join the conversation respectfully.
Welcome back. We're still discussing the downsides of social media. These downsides cannot be exhausted because they are numerous. We have peer influence. We have the fact that they recruit these people
for the wrong reasons. Yeah. Also have privacy concerns. Like there are a lot of information that are shared. The social media is not exactly as private as we think it is, because just by posting that, you live in this place, you live in that place, it can just like give a lot of people, unwanted people, access to you. So like privacy concern is also a problem.
Yeah, and the fact that people get recruited, like young people, they're at more risk of getting
very vulnerable.
Exactly, their vulnerability is very high, and people can easily just recruit them to do things. Probably create like platforms and tell them things and put a lot of ideas into their heads, and see them, they begin to act out as human. I'm wondering, what's the problem? This is not the child that I raised. Forgetting that there's somebody out there raising your child too for you. And this downside have effects on the people. You mentioned cyberbullying. You look at the fact that when you talk to somebody, like the girl you mentioned now, you talked about how she could not like come back to school, how she was not able to cope. It gives them like mental problems, anxiety. Some of them get depressed over time. You get like they're now like thinking about what has been said to them on social media, not knowing that person that's probably talking to them they're probably better than that person. Because for you to come on social media to insult somebody, it means that you don't have problems yet. Like you don't know what's doing you yet.
Of course. So you just feel like you should just transfer it to somebody, because most of these people, they don't even like have enough confidence up to even you that posted. But they just feel like they should just put all their depression or everything on you. But then if you're not now like on the high level, if you don't have a high self-esteem too, you end up going down with them. Some of them cannot sleep. Like you said, the girl could not go to school. The person that posted that thing could probably just I'm just typing it carelessly just to have fun. But then it affected that person, it affected her mental health. Also, there are a lot of them that go through that become like so suicidal because the things that you say to people, a lot of I was reading an article, right, and they said a lot of these people that say these kind of things about people, they just feel like, I mean, if it is something that, like, if it is said to me, I wouldn't take it in any way. But then you cannot just impose how you will feel on somebody else. A lot of them like get suicidal. You can just be saying, oh, yeah, you see your K-leg, like the person said to the girl. But then maybe this is like this person's weak points. Maybe this is this person that feels so somehow about that particular thing. Maybe this person does not just exactly feel comfortable. So like it just messes up with the person's mental health already.
When we were discussing the downside, I failed to mention how fake news spreads on social media. And how now when people post informations that are not even correct and they spread a lot of fear. Imagine maybe posting about during the Naira crisis. Now I think somebody posted that they were going to stop collecting the new old money, and people were at the old money rather, and people were already panicking. People were going to the bank. People were like
fear.
It will create fear. It will obstruct workflow. A lot of people will just see a lot of things on social media.
Chaos. It just
during
caused
the
chaos.
COVID-19 pandemic, there was a lot of information going on. Drink this, drink that, and people were actually drinking it, sending broadcasts.
Drink your bath with water and
So
it has
I think that was during the Ebola period.
Yes,
it has adverse effects on their health because all these things you're taking into your body, you think that when you're done it will just come out. No, it will affect things in your body.
System, exactly.
And then even the fact that like social media can the wave of the downsides can even help in fueling it fuels like a lot of intergovernmental problems, issues. These governments are like you're talking about these governments, and the next thing is like everybody's actually
before you know they're going to war, or before you know they're going to fight, before you know they're going into social media war. And social media war can be like very especially for people that are like in diaspora.
I can still remember like the recent war that was going on between the Israeli and there was so much information online. We just didn't know what to follow.
Real.
And so many people were posting a lot of things. Like at a point I was like, what are we even doing? Like what's the real news exactly going on? And the thing about it is that it seems like the fake news is even more prevalent than the original news.
Authentic one.
The authentic ones. And because everyone has a phone and has access to social media, I can sit in the comfort of my room and then come up with almost anything. And because human beings, you just like media, bad news sells more. So I will make it look as scary as possible. And then everybody's panicking. So it's a frenzy. It's something that is actually eating deep into people. Now, you also mentioned depression as one of the downside of social media. This cannot be overemphasized because the truth is just that most people actually that post things online, they don't have a life.
Real.
And some people don't actually realize that. I post myself standing before a car, and then you're watching me and thinking, she has made it finally.
Yes.
But you don't realize that this is not even my car. I might even be living in a ghetto, like in the worst place ever. But because I'm all pimped and posh, you think, and then you're killing yourself over someone else that is living a fake life. And you don't even realize that you're even living a more better life
than that person. Yeah.
So
that means it is even very, very fair to say that there is a link between social media and mental health and suicide. Because let's talk about the Mark Zuckerberg's case that happened like few days back or few weeks back, right? I mean, he was in a hearing and then they're telling him to apologize because a lot of people on this, a lot of young people, young people in quotes, like young children on these social media apps are being depressed and are killing themselves. First off, I just want to get your personal opinions first.
Yeah. I think, yes, he has a role to play in, like safeguarding the kind of information they get. But then you cannot just put it on him, he cannot monitor everything
that's happening.
As people, like, as I said, social media is not bad, it's the usage. Okay, now it's children, so yes, they cannot have their decision on their own, but as parents, like, you're supposed to monitor what your child is doing.
Parental guidance.
I'm meant to know, like, this is what my child does on social media. You play your part, and then if it happens eventually, you now know that yes, I did my all. You cannot just come and expect him to do what for you. What is he going to do about the situation for you? It's left for you. All he can do is create the app and put the necessary guidelines to make sure that your child does not have access to this. But you as a parent have something to.
Do you know that on phones, like when, for instance, if you buy a phone now, there are some parts of the phone that you have parental guidance allowance where you cannot even allow your children to use some apps, like to begin with. Because I was reading on how Facebook started, and then they said that the minimum age for registration is 13 years. First off, I think I have a problem with that, because if you're not up to 18, I feel like you just have some sort of knowledge about yourself. You don't even know yourself, first off.
Yeah.
Do you get, like, charity begins at home. So like it is in the home that you have to, like, in as much as without the social media, these children are already exposed to like a lot of things in their schools, in churches and all of these places. But then when you expose them to social media, they're already like, in fact, they're already like too vulnerable. Yeah. So like 13, first off, 13 is like a very, very young age.
What do you think about the Mark Zuckerberg case?
Well, just like you said, the parents have a very huge role to play. Putting a phone in the hands of a 10-year-old, and then you're not monitoring what he or she's doing on the phone, it's the height of irresponsibility, I must say, because you must actually be active in finding out what the person is doing. There should be, in fact, there are kinds of phones that a child of 10 years should not be able to access.
Yes.
There are phones that they can use, there are some that they shouldn't be allowed to use. So you as a parent should take up the responsibility of doing the necessary things. Yes, the age thing also is a factor, because if someone of 35 years can be brainwashed,
then what is
true? Very true.
And you know that the thing about it is that as Mark Zuckerberg, he's there he's trying to maintain everything, but he can't stop people from putting contents out there.
True.
It's true there are restrictions to context. Actually, there are some, like on Instagram, you can say there are some contents that you can't just post. But whichever way, there are minor communities that exist on this platform.
Sure.
If they can't do it on social media, they can meet somewhere else and do it.
Yes.
All I need to do is to send out the information. There are people that have died in parties in different places, younger generations, like kids that went for a party and all those stuff, all because they met a group of people,
a community.
Online. So they might not have actually done anything online per se, but they met a group of people online. So it's your job as a parent, and also I think my own suggestion that Mark Zuckerberg should look at increasing the age.
Yeah. So now these are like ways to curb this downside. Because we've talked about parental, like, as parents, we owe it to our children. You know, you cannot say my child is now old enough, they identify as this, so we can now say that they are old enough to be on social media. Even on TVs, there's actually like a way you can put just the friendly channels for your children. Talk more of phone. There are a lot of passwords you can use to buy your children. And then even when your child, because one of my friends was telling me when she was 17 and then she did her birthday and she was 18, it did not feel different. Like at 18, there's nothing that changes. It's just you are 18. So you cannot say that because the child is probably 16, 17, 18, there's something different. There's not something different there. So monitor what your child does on social media. Monitor it, because there's somebody out there that is trying to get your children to do things that they don't want. You can set a lot of time limits on phone. No, like this is the time for phone, because addiction is a real thing.
Yes.
People wake up and the first thing they do is to check their social media.
I saw a meme where the person said you will just wake up in the morning and pick up your phone. You can't confirm if you are even walking. And in as much as that is funny, it is like a real deal, because a lot of us do not even like you don't even check if we're speaking. The first thing you just roll over to the other side of your bed and then it's your phone.
And another thing about social media is that it isolates people. There are people that don't ever leave their house because of social media. They are always indoors. And because of that, eventually we don't know what happens to them. Anything that happens to their life, they just live a world. In that virtual world, they don't have any friends or relatives or any association, communication outside.
So we as parents, and even as individuals, we owe it to ourselves to monitor to like check what we do on social media.
Yes.
Because you cannot feel like because I can make my decision on my own, so you'll be checking different apps, and you don't know how it has an effect on you.
Or that might
just constant looking at a particular thing, reading the same information, rinse and repeat. Your way of thinking itself begins to change. Looking at that, and when somebody asks you a question, you cannot even make a full decision without linking it to something on social media. Then as government, what do you think the government can do about this?
I feel like the government should put more eye on what the social media platforms are doing. For instance, starting with the age limit, because I've already said that 13 years old is like already too young. So the social media platform already have a role to play, but I feel like with the conjunction of with the government as well, it can also like go a long way to like cope
as
up
well
with
as those cyber bullies too.
Yes.
They need to be people that are like online too, because since
To
everything is
watch.
happening online too, they should also be watching to know that once you see, like, they track you down immediately, because you don't know what your words can do to somebody
else.
And most of the people that talk, some of them even use their real faces, and they end up losing out because they forget that there's something called digital footprint.
Yeah.
What you did, maybe you think, oh, I was just little, I was 20.
Yeah.
Now you see
The internet never forgets.
Governor that they had to start bringing out tweets of his wife, like what she tweeted back then. Like it's 2010 and 2023, they were bringing out her information. So all these things they put on social media, like it just you people need to be there monitoring it.
Yeah.
Also, the ads that are being put on, like on apps.
Yeah.
If there's a tax collection, if they put taxes on it, people will fact check, because when you have to pay to put this ad, like pay,
You know what you are putting there.
You know what you are putting there. So
Right.
basically, social media is very important. We've mentioned the advantages of it, but also for us to curb the downsides, for us to be able to manage this disadvantage, because I'm not sure that there will be any type of teaching now that will ingrain into people that will make more world change. So you have to play your own part in making sure that those people never come near you or yours.
Yeah.
So this is actually just a call to action. Everybody has a role to play in this, and if we all do our part, then the people that are actually harming us on social media would not even have access to us.
Yeah.
And here is where we put a wrap on our conversation. Don't forget to keep the conversation going in the comment section. Keep it respectful as always. Follow us on our social media platform at Healed Network. I'm Jennifer.
She's Jennifer as well, and I'm Precious.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.